What do all these things have in common, you say? These are my sewing notions, and today we are going to take you through some of them on this sewing adventure in my sewing room. Enjoy! Hi guys, my name is Shiardia Garapi and welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to talk some of the favorite tools that I have in my sewing room. So today's going to be a little different. I'm just going to show you a couple of tools at a time, and then I'm going to post all of the links down below for any of these products that I can find online. Most of my products are bought at Fabricland, the dollar store, or Walmart, Packana, and a few Amazon things that I definitely ordered from the internet. So I know I don't exactly show all of my tools and stuff, but I want to show you a couple of my favorites that really make a difference with my hands and with my inability to hold certain weights. So, of course, we're going to start with my favorite, which happens to be an electronic cutter. So, usually, most people use these beautiful tools. Yes, they're called scissors. And of course, I have a bunch of different kinds. I have little ones for threads, and I have the big ones for fabric, and I have multiple different kinds of pinking shears and other kinds of things. But with my arthritis kind of came the fact that opening and closing scissors wasn't exactly fun. So I got myself this beauty, which is, let's see if I can get this in focus. Here you go. This is a pair of electric scissors. And of course, they cut through fabric like butter. I am not kidding you. They go through tons of fabric, they go through layers of fabric, and they cut accurately while they're sharp. And so far, I have not been able to dull this pair of scissors. I've had it, I think I've had them for 3 months now, and I've had lots of practice with them. I ordered them on Amazon, and ooh, choked to death. Oh, I need coffee. But I ordered them on Amazon, and they did come from China, so they do have a small feature that is supposed to be a lock, but it doesn't stop the scissors from actually locking. So when they're down and the thing is charged, I take them apart so that they don't end up going off in a drawer and cutting things I don't want them to cut. And that's how I keep them safe in my room. And when it comes to cutting materials, it's more important to have a sharp pair of scissors and the ability to use them. So if you can use scissors, if you're okay with scissors, or if you're afraid of the electronic scissors, then by all means use what's comfortable for you. Me, I like the electronic scissors. They are super lightweight on my wrist. They're easily rechargeable. They're not stuck to a cord, so I don't have to try to fandangle them anywhere. Their charger cord can be left plugged in. It is not a big deal, as well as they can be left plugged in for about 5 hours, and then they're fully charged. And that's it. I think I've charged them once since I got them, and I use them for almost every project I do. So all of the big cutting is almost always with this electric pair of scissors, and any trimming I need to do for a little bit of accuracy around corners is, well, I can do a couple of quick trims with scissors. It's not so bad. So those are my favorite. Next is kind of a lot of things. For most beginners, it seems like all of this is a little bit too much for them. And I really want to tell you that the basics you need is a pair of scissors, and it can be just a cheap pair of scissors. You need a sewing machine or a needle and thread, and bobbins for your sewing machine and needles. And my best telling thing for you is, if you're using cheap thread, buy one of these lint brushes and make sure you can clean your machine, and clean your machine regularly. If you're using the better thread, you don't have to worry about it threading so much. And then that's it. You're good. That's all you really need in life. You need some thread. doesn't really matter. It all goes with it. For sewing tools that make it helpful, however, there can be a huge variety depending on what your project is. But you can make do with anything. I like to have every option available to me at any given time. Also, I tend to use things in combination. So if I need a T-square and I don't have a T-square, which I should, but I don't have one, I use a set of bigger rulers and then a set of littler rulers, and they match them up and they create my T-square. And sometimes I just use my meter stick and my big cracked ruler. And I mean, this wonderful poor baby has this giant crack in her, and that caused her to be on sale. So of course I picked her up because these rulers are totally expensive. I'll try to get that. There you go. There's the whole thing in frame. So it's not small. This one is the 8.5 by what? 24. The 8.5 by 24 inch ruler. And it's so helpful for cutting long pieces of fabric, for cutting long pieces of bias. And that crack in the middle I just taped up with clear tape and it's good to go. I have had no problems with its alignment, and so far I've had that for over a year and I still haven't broken it. I'm popular today. So really it just takes a little bit of practice. You don't necessarily need rulers, and you can use pretty much any straight object in your life to be a ruler. From a book, easy peasy, straight lines are straight lines. The best bet I can tell you is you're going to want to have at least some kind of measuring item. Something that has inches or centimeters depending on where you are. So this is the inch side and this is the centimeter side. And while I don't recommend these tapes as the easiest ones to work with because plastic tends to stretch, they're durable, and that's all that really matters when you're just starting. And even when you're not just starting, these rulers can be super handy for crafts as well as marking up your mannequin to make sure your sizes are the right way. Whatever you need. And then there's really a lot in this room that I don't need, and I could probably live without in half the time I do. I make do with a great many other kinds of things. Instead of having the best pins on the planet, I have paper clips and binder clips and hair clips from the dollar store in their variety of sizes, which replaces Wonder Clips as far as I'm concerned. And these have a, well, they're the same basic thing, and that's all I really need. If I was to do a quilt and want to do that binding, I would say I would probably go get some Wonder Clips, but I'm betting that I would just go pick up some more of these big binder clips because they work beautifully for bias binding. So that's what I use. And for pins, I generally use the quilting pins, which are these long ones, because they are, here we go. So they are a lot easier to use in big projects and things like that, and they're super sharp. For other projects, I like to use these plastic headed pins because I can feel the tips of these and I can pull them out of the material. And for me, that's super, super important because I can't really feel the tips of my fingers all the time. For little things, and when I have fingernails, because it's super important, and for pinning like tacks and pinning paper to the wall and things, I use these teeny tiny little pins that I can just pick up for like $2 a tin or something. And ooh, I don't know if I can get it to focus. There we go. Those are those tiny little pins. And as you can see, this is the flat tip at the tip here. And it's just the inside of the pin with no glass tipping or plastic tipping. And you can get them in these tins. Oops. Skills, there we go. So you can get them in these tins, and the tins themselves are generally quite helpful. They pop open and then you can get to your pins, and then They pinch closed and it's done. I have a magnet on my desk that helps. So you could do many, many, many things. And over the period of the next few weeks, I'm actually going to walk you through all of why these tools have so many different uses and how each of these many different tools that I have has their uses. I have not been able to do a lot of sewing outside of my hand sewing, and that is incredibly boring to watch, in my opinion. And since I don't want to watch me hand sew, I'm sure that you guys don't want to really watch me hand sew too much either. So we're going to do tools instead for a while. So I hope you'll join me. I will walk you through all the rulers, pins, scissors, quilting tip things that are kind of wacky and weird but super helpful when it comes to regular sewing, and of course show you the variety of different irons and other things that you can purchase online or otherwise, and I will take you on a ride through my sewing room. So see you next week, guys.